Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's edition of the Daily Stand-Up. I'm Lee Henson, President and Founder of AgileDad, and without any further ado, let's get started. Today's topic is one that excites me quite a bit. In honor of May 4th, may the 4th be with you, we are going to focus on the Scrum Values, specifically the acronym FORCE, F-O-R-C-E. This acronym reminds us that the Scrum Values are a great tool for us to use in order to help gain and build trust within organizations. I remember when I first visited organizations that didn't have these principles in mind, many times you would find that the teams were often jaded or had jaded views, or that leadership felt like there was no transparency. This was just a great opportunity for us to take those five values and apply them in such a way that teams could recognize that this helped create an environment of psychological safety and allowed them to practice radical candor, while at the same time it provided an environment of transparency for the leadership and executive teams that wanted to get their head around the work that was being done and have the ability to forecast. The first of the five values, the F in FORCE, is for focus. Now, focus is often misinterpreted. It doesn't necessarily mean to have laser focus estimates or to have everything pinned down in hours and minutes. Focus means that we should limit the amount of work in progress as an organization and focus on the key deliverables that are going to give us the greatest outcome. I know you've probably heard me say this a million times, but one of the primary things that we find that helps make organizations successful is when they stop focusing on output-driven design and development and start focusing on outcome-driven design and development. We want to achieve the greatest outcome, happy consumers, with as little output as possible. And I believe that when you focus, this allows the organization to scale back the number of projects that are in flight, the number of products that are in motion, and allows them to get their head better around the work that's being done, get products and services to market sooner, increase their revenue, and have fewer defects. It seems to be a catalyst for all things going well. Focus for the team is being able to focus on what's designed to be done in 2 weeks' time. We certainly don't want the team to have to try to govern and manage things for the foreseeable future, for the next 90 days, a year, 5 years. In order for the team to be successful, they need to really have their head around what's going to make the most sense with regard to the work at hand, with regard to the pieces of work that they are going to be engaging with in the very near future. We certainly don't want to take away the ability of the team to be able to see what's coming down the pipe, but we certainly also don't want the team to lose that hyper-focus that helps them collaborate and really be masterful at completing the work they've committed to. The second value, the O in FORCE, stands for openness. Now, openness to me is probably one of the most critical pieces. Instead of ever asking, why should I share this information, it's an opportunity for us to say, why wouldn't we share this information? I feel like too many organizations try to hide things when things are going right or wrong, and they don't have this open opportunity for people to collaborate with each other, with leadership and with other teams, and most of all with the end consumers. I just believe it's critically important for us to regain that focus and to have that open communication and collaboration. It's openness that probably is the key to help the organization be the most successful. In organizations where openness exists, there's radical candor. And where radical candor exists, psychological safety exists. It's just a chain of events that helps us all be successful throughout. The R in the five values stands for respect. Now, respect is more than just respect for the process or for the framework. It's respect for teams, respect for individuals, respect for that open and honest communication, respect for the product owner, respect for the product owner or from the product owner not inserting new items into sprints or projects without the team or organizational awareness. It's an ongoing respect for the dignity of the Scrum ceremonies. It's a respect for the Agile framework. Respect can be applied in many, many different ways, but it truly is the respect that individuals take pride in the work that they do and take ownership and have accountability, and that drives team success. Once again, another critical piece to the puzzle that is often overlooked. The C in FORCE reflects back on commitment. Now, we all know Master Yoda once said, "Do or do not, there is no try." But the truth is, the team should only commit to the work that they can actually achieve. Oftentimes, the team is tasked with overcommitting. People often say to the team that it's imperative that certain work get done or that we have certain deadlines we have to meet. And It's not a matter of what work can you do. It's how will you accomplish this work within this set of time without any restrictive parameters. It's this work needs to be done in this time, whether you can finish it or not. If that means nights and weekends, if that means working double overtime, whatever it might be. And my concern there is that when teams are asked to put in a full 8 hours a day, for example, on a timesheet, instead of being realistic and saying, hey, we only work 5.896 hours a day or 6 hours a day, when teams are expected to account for 80 hours of their time now. Granted, over 2 weeks, Brent. Now, granted, I know that many organizations require teams to keep track of their time in order to have billable hours, especially if you're in a services organization that does, that type of billing, time and materials, etc. I think it's just important that when we contract and that we build things out, that yes, the team is still going to put a wholehearted 40 hours of work in each week, and they'll be there whether it be virtually or in person. But I think it's important for us to know that when a team makes a commitment that they're going to focus on what can actually be achieved and they're not going to overcommit, and that we need to be satisfied with that predictable result and move forward. That's going to help us in the future remain predictable. It's going to help us gain traction. It's going to help us pick up those ideals, and it's going to help us gain the best focus possible with regard to when a product or service is going to be delivered. I believe the teams that focus on commitment and the organizations that draw focus on commitment are the ones that see the most success because they're being realistic about expectations, both with leadership and with external stakeholders. The E in force, I had to sort of morph this one a little bit, stands for extreme courage. Now, I know when people often hear the word courage, they don't necessarily refer to courage or think of courage when I think of Scrum or when I think of Agile or when I think of teams. It's more than just courage to say no. When I'm referring to courage, I'm referring to the ability for the team to courageously talk about new ideas, new solutions. I'm talking about the courage to approach product owners and to propose new ideas. The courage for executives to let go of that command and control environment and to allow the teams to thrive and swarm to limited work in progress. It takes courage in order for big decisions to be made. Organizations without courage are the ones who are going to be the least successful. The organizations that base all that they do on making courageous decisions, courageous choices, are the ones that are going to, in the end, have the better products and services and be the ones that last and stand the test of time. Now, I realize that these 5 values are very much, geared towards helping organizational agility and helping businesses be the best that they could be. But the truth is, the best thing you could do with these 5 values is try to have an introspective where you imagine yourself and ask, how do I personally live out these 5 values? Do I have personal fulfillment of these 5 values in my life? Am I taking time, and especially in this tumultuous time with self hibernation and with the COVID pandemic and all the things that are going on, am I taking the time to really focus my attention on the things that matter? Am I focused on doing the amount of work necessary and spending the remainder of the time focused on my family or those closest to me so that I can continue to build thriving relationships? Am I open and honest in my communications with my friends, with my coworkers, with my spouse, with my children, with all those that are around me? Am I treating them with dignity and respect and love? Am I meeting my commitments, both internally on my honey-do list and externally on the work list and things that need to be accomplished? Am I only committing to the things that I know that I could achieve and using my talents and gifts to uplift others? And am I taking on the world with extreme courage, knowing that one day this strange world that we live in is going to get a little closer back to a new normal? And am I ready for that? Are we ready to approach that new normal? Are we ready to dive in? I know in my heart of hearts that we all have to make personal choices, and that, although we each can make different choices, it's through extreme courage and through a line of respect and treating people with the utmost, dignity and humanizing everything that we do and taking our time to be of service to others and to uplift others that's going to help us be the most powerful that we could be. I hope you enjoyed today's edition of the Daily Stand-Up. As always, we encourage you to visit AgileDad.com where you can learn more about this and many other tools and classes and open sessions that we have going on to help uplift you and to help uplift your organization. As always, stay safe, stay well, and stay agile. Take care.